Today I am here at the 2019 NAMM show, and I'm here at the Bluthner booth with a really special piano. And as you can see, this basically is a piano, but with one very big obvious feature. It has a plexiglass rim with these really cool LED lights inside. Now, I don't see a remote anywhere here at the show right by me, but I'm sure it's somewhere, and you can actually change the color of these LEDs. They're completely RGB LEDs. You can change them to be any color you want. They're at this really nice blue, which looks fantastic on this piano. You can have them be red, green, white. White also looks really nice here, but you can really have them any color you want. Right here it's set to like the purpley blue color, and it works really great. Now, something that's kind of interesting is I actually learned here that not all of these pianos, these crystal pianos, are created equal. I always thought that all of them would have been white on the inside like this one is, but a lady here who represents Bluthner tells me that actually if you were to buy one of these new from the factory, you can actually customize what colors are going to be in the piano. So this one here, as you can see, has a white harp with a white soundboard and white dampers, but I imagine that you can customize that to really be any color you want. She says that the harp also comes in like a silver and a gold color as well, or a gray kind of color, I think. It was either silver or gray, I can't remember, but I do know it also comes in a gold, which sounds really beautiful. And so it has some levels of customization too. There's a few other interesting things about it. Of course, like I said, it has white dampers, which is kind of interesting. They're wooden as usual, but they have a white top to them, as you can see here. So it looks very unique, but it also blends in really well with the piano. I kind of find it funny that the action isn't painted white either. Like they could have painted the hammer shanks white, but perhaps that would have added extra weight and messed up the piano. But that would be kind of interesting. It's kind of funny that there's just bare wood action there, and then the rest of the piano is painted white to kind of cover up the wood look. So that's kind of cool. Another thing here is the lid prop here, which is probably made of aluminum. Maybe it's not. It feels very solid, and it's just kind of like this single piece of metal here that helps hold up the lid, and has a very sleek look, a very modern look, and a really cool look. I love the way the light kind of reflects around inside of the plexiglass and then comes out at the top, and the top of the rim is kind of outlined in, well, in this case blue, but whatever color you really want the piano to be, red, green, purple, whatever color you want, it kind of reflects and comes up out of the top of the rim, which I think looks really awesome. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a couple of pieces here. I'm going to play a couple of Bach pieces on this piano. I'm going to but before I play the Bach pieces, I'm going to first start off by playing a little piece that I kind of wrote to help demonstrate the sound of pianos. It starts off in the treble, goes down into the bass. Many people seem to enjoy listening to it, which is awesome. So I'm going to play this a little bit on the Crystal Bluthner, and it kind of can give you an idea of what this piano sounds like. As you can hopefully hear, NAMM is a very noisy environment, but as you can hopefully hear, this piano actually sounds just like a normal piano that would be normally constructed of wood. Everything here that's plexiglass would normally be wood in a piano. The legs, the rim, the fallboard, the music desk, everything that you're seeing here would be normally wood. But this piano actually sounds just like a normal piano. It has a very warm sound from what I can hear. It has a very mellow sound, and the action is very substantial, but it also feels very responsive, and it feels very well regulated, and it feels very nice. So it's kind of interesting that even though this piano looks so much different than a normal piano, it has the same old piano sound that we all know and love. So to demonstrate this a little bit further, I'm going to play a Bach hymn. It was originally written for an organ, but it sounds great on the piano, and hopefully you guys enjoy hearing that on the Crystal Bluthner piano. That piece always tends to bring out the warmth and the beautiful resonance of pianos, and hopefully you guys can hear that this piano seems to have a very, very warm sound, as I have said already. It seems to have a very nice sound. This is a 6'3" piano, and it has a very, very nice sound from what I can hear for a piano of the size. I have played on one of these in a normal environment in a piano store, and it also had a really, really great sound. So from the looks of it, Bluthner has been very, very consistent with these pianos as they are with their normal piano lines that are made of wood traditionally like a normal piano. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a very, very fun Bach piece on this piano. I can't look at this piano and have the mood to play a minor sounding song. So what I'm going to be doing is playing a very happy, a very fun piece to play, and hopefully a very fun piece to listen to on this awesome Bluthner crystal piano. So here we go. I hope you enjoy. And this piano has a very substantial feeling action, but what's cool is it's very, very well regulated, and playing this piece on it, this quicker piece, it feels absolutely fantastic on the piano. The piano feels predictable, it feels very well regulated and very, very even. So even though the action kind of has a more substantial, a more heavy feel, it still has a really great feel when you play it. Now, a substantial action isn't everybody's cup of tea. A lot of people really like a very, very light action, but substantial actions can be just perfectly fine. And also, if you play a piano and you get used to the way a substantial action feels, then playing on a piano with a light action becomes extremely easy. So this action on this piano is very, very well regulated, and it plays this piece just fine. So hopefully you enjoyed this little review here of the Bluthner Crystal Piano at the 2019 NAMM show, and I hope you enjoyed it. You can go check out my channel, and if you do that, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. What you're about to watch is a very, very cool interview that I had the opportunity to have with the very famous Dr. Christian Bluthner, who of course is the head of Bluthner and whose pianos have a number of very interesting features. One of them, of course, is the very unique Crystal Bluthner, and of course Bluthner has a number of various features in their pianos that are very, very special and make Bluthner very, very unique among the piano industry. So you're about to see an interview with Dr. Christian Bluthner, but I wanted to mention before I do the interview and show it to you is that kind of the atmosphere of NAMM is everybody playing as loud as possible at all times, and at one point during the interview somebody came along and decided to play as loud as possible on this exact piano. I was standing just a couple inches away over here, and so someone decided to come along and play as loud as they could on this piano, which may at times make the interview a little bit difficult to hear, but we're going to do our best to try to get that sound out, and hopefully you guys can still enjoy the interview, because hopefully it's going to be very fascinating. Bluthner has a long history, and it's just very, very interesting to hear Dr. Christian Bluthner talk about the piano. So without any further ado, let's check out the interview. Today I am here at the 2019 NAMM show at the Bluthner booth with none other than Dr. Bluthner himself. Dr. Bluthner, thank you very much for...
Pleasure for you. Pleasure to meet you here.
Bluethners are such a wonderful piano. They have such their own unique sound. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what makes Bluthner pianos so special and what kind of makes them have their own unique sound.
Well, of course, Bluthner, since we are making pianos since more than 165 years, there's a pioneering process to make the piano as complete and as refined as they are today. And there's a few features which set that piano apart from anything else out there. One of them is, for example, the aliquot system, which is a 4th string in the treble, originally brought to the public by Beethoven. And if you're looking at the original Beethoven scripts or scores, you see there a description saying una corda, which translates into 1 string. In the old days, by using the left pedal, you shifted the action, where the hammer only stroked 2 in 3 instead of 3 strings, leaving the 3rd string open to resonate freely with the other ones. And then it took Franz Liszt, who discovered that and asked Julius Bluthner to incorporate that into the new modern pianos. So, and that's what we got. It's a 4-string which resonates with the other strings in unison and amplifying and enriching the overtones. This translates into a more colorful sound and a wider range of tonal modification or modulation, what you can do as a pianist. And there's a reason why once all these great composers like Prokofiev, Shostakovich, Rachmaninoff, Debussy, Bruckner, Mahler, Grieg, Franz Liszt, just to name a few, all picked Bluthner pianos to compose on because they need to have that inspirational moment. As a composer, you have a musical idea, which is probably not that refined, and then you develop that. And Mata Argerich, a very well-known pianist, told me, you know, Christian, with that pianos, you have that inspiration, like talking to somebody, an interesting character, somebody who talks back to you, which is not a monologue, you're starting a dialogue. And this is something, even as a pianist, where we don't really compose music, we have that concerts which we never forget. And that's actually when I'm playing on one of your pianos and have that interaction with the piano, which drives my interpretation to a complete new level. And this is something which is extraordinary. Of course, that's not only the aliquot strings. This is supported by a special crown of the soundboard, which is a cylindrical crown, completely different from what the industry usually is doing, having a spherical crown, which has been adopted from the violins. But pianos have a few strings more than violins. So, and the strings are connected from the very right to the very left corner. So a cylindrical crown in a piano makes a lot more sense, and it picks up all these melodies and that tonal characteristics on a wider, nicer range. So, and this is all, you know, combined with a very precise, refined craftsmanship.
Yes. Yeah,
At the execution, you know, the design is one thing, but execution, experiencing people and educating them in the factory, where to build a culture which is passing on the knowledge of experienced craftsmen from one generation to the next one. This is probably the secret, what really makes Bluthner different from other instruments.
Thank you so much for answering that question. That's awesome. Sympathetic resonance has always been one of my favorite things in a piano. I love it when you just hold the pedal down and you just play some notes in the treble and the whole piano just swells and fills with that sympathetic resonance. Has always been one of my favorite things. So the aliquot string is really, really cool, and it's an awesome invention, and it's really amazing. Now I'm curious about the action on the Bluthner as well. Is it your own design? Is it a modified Renner action? What do we have? Because it's a very fine action.
It's actually, we design the actions ourselves. The parts are made by a Renner.
But it's your own design.
So it's our own design,
cool.
And that's, again, you know, these pianos are made to a perfection, which means it's not just an action you can buy on the market. Mm-hmm. This needs to be adjusted to that piano's needs.
Exactly.
To bring it to that supreme level.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
It's like the transmission of a car, which needs to work well together with the engine.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome. Because when I sat down and played it, I felt it was light and it was responsive and it played really, really well. But it felt a little bit different. It wasn't quite the Renner feel, and it just had a different feel to it.
It allows you more control. It's more responsive, especially if you're playing pianissimo. And I believe that the nice music is in the piano, in the more moderate part of the music, and to modulate that, to get that singing tone out, needs an extremely responsive action, which gives you that extra control to it. And this is, that's a Bluthner.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for spending the time
for this
interview. Bluthners are amazing pianos. They're so cool, and I'm just very glad that I've been able here to be here to experience the Bluthner piano as well as have this interview with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.